The challenges of a young civilization. It's hard keeping up with the neighbors when they have the wheel and you don't. Humankind learns quickly that everyone contributes. If you're terrified of wild animals, you can grow lentils or catch fish. Tribes settle towns, towns develop markets, and markets begin the exchange of goods, services, and, most important, rumors and hearsay.
Rose here today, and we're going to talk about Humankind, which is a 4X historical strategy game that will be coming out in 2021. First, I'd like to give a huge thanks to Amplitude for allowing me the chance to play it for a few hours. Thank you very much. Now, of course, the big question is, can Humankind dethrone Civilization as the ruler of historical 4X games? I mean, Civilization's been around for, 30 years now? Thereabouts? After playing for a few hours, I consider it a definite possibility. Time flew by while I was playing Humankind, just like when I've played Civilization in the past. Since my channel is mostly Paradox Grand Strategy games, you may not know it, but I've logged hundreds, if not thousands of hours in the Civilization franchise. Starting with Civ 3 all the way back in high school, I don't know how many Saturdays disappeared as I built up my empires and proceeded to conquer the world in some way or another. Hello, my name is Rose, and I'm addicted to historical strategy games. Now, the footage you see on screen is not my own. While we were allowed to take screenshots of certain parts of the game, we were not allowed to record any game footage, as this was a very early alpha build. Amplitude supplied us with a B-roll video footage. First off, from what you can see of the UI, it's very clean, simple, and easy to navigate. I never felt like it was missing information, nor did I feel like it was cluttering up the screen with unnecessary information either. From what others were saying, the UI is similar to Endless Legend, but I couldn't say as I've not really played that game. So, when discussing Humankind, I won't be comparing it to other Amplitude 4X games, since I just don't know them well. One of the things that does make Humankind unique is the start. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of that super detailed mod for Civ 4, Caveman to Cosmos, though, of course, there are major differences. We didn't get to see much of it, but you start the game in the Neolithic era as a generic tribe, actually. You have a few warriors, and they can wander around exploring the map and fighting giant deer and mammoths. And let me tell you, the mammoths will mess you up. I managed to kill one with 2 guys, but I had terrain on my side. Someone else wasn't quite so lucky. Now, killing animals rewards you with food, which gives you more units, while discovering unique places, which are these little glowing spots on the map with question marks, gets you science. Once you have enough science, you're able to select what culture you're going to follow in the Bronze Age, which also allows you to construct your capital city. I selected the Babylonians the first time because who doesn't love science? I mean, seriously, science, OP. Once here, I got to place my first city and begin researching technology, which I can't show you the tech tree, but it is fairly familiar ground if you've played any 4X historical game. I spent this run primarily building my cities, checking out tech, and exploring the map. That is, until I encountered the Egyptians. Ransacked a pyramid, and then ran away from their horde of troops until my poor guys got murderized by superior numbers. They got backed into a corner against the ocean. It was quite sad. I think I was against, was it 5 or 6 guys? It was sad. Poor dudes. For the second game, I selected the Egyptians because if you can't beat them, join them, right? Then I proceeded to take over all the other cities on the map and build pyramids everywhere. It was quite thrilling and glorious, and exactly the way it should be. Sadly, I can't show you any images of battles or the tech tree as they're both still being worked on. This was an alpha build. From what others said, battle appears to be very similar to Endless Legend, but for all we know that will change some, they are tweaking it and continuing to work on it. One thing I did notice was just how much the high ground matters. And there are multiple levels for the ground, not just 2 like we see in Civilization. This made for some very interesting battles. If you look at a few of the images, you'll notice that there's like a hill on top of a plateau, and then there's plains down below. It's quite interesting. You put someone up there with like an archer. Wow. Another unique part of the game is the culture system. You can choose a new culture with each era, or you can choose to ascend your current culture. Ascending gives you more fame, but at the cost of receiving no new bonuses or no unique units or buildings. So, sorry folks, you can't play the mighty Canada in the year 3000 BC. But you can be sure that the peaceful Harapans stand the test of time. Or so I would assume. Since we only got to play the start of the classical era, I have no idea if you can have your culture ascend more than once. So we'll have to wait and find out about that together. Civics were also something we got to take a look at. Over time, I'm not 100% sure of the criteria. You do gain civic points. You use those in civic decisions unlocked by tech. Each decision gives you 2 choices with different benefits. They also make your society sway more towards authority or liberty. Think the light side or versus dark side scale in Knights of the Old Republic, though of course neither side is really evil or wrong. I'm sure how your society is built will come into play more later in the game and in diplomacy as well, but we didn't really get a chance to see that this time. Fame is also something that is really interesting. You gain it through regular things like growing pops and discovering tech, but you can also complete great deeds, such as being the first person to find Mount Everest or the first person to build a holy site or wonder. From what the devs were saying, they expect fame to be quite important, but I can't really show you any of the deeds or what they looked like since that is something they are still continuing to work on. Overall, I'm very excited to see where Humankind goes. Frankly, my favorite parts of any Civilization game were the exploring and the expanding, and from what I saw in Humankind, they are certainly delivering so far.
Let's go.
As for exploiting and exterminating, I have high hopes, though the build I got to play on had no diplomacy whatsoever, and automatic war with every nation you meet is fun, but it doesn't make for a very deep game. At least when it comes to something that's supposed to be a 4X strategy title. What's also rather cool and interesting is that there's these events that pop up at different points, depending on where your city is settled, what tech you have, what you've built, whether you've discovered a religion, and they can have far-reaching effects, though you don't really know the beginning, or so we were discovering. Like for one of them was after you founded a religion, do you want to constrict the priesthood to being only men, only women, or allowing both genders? There was another one that if you put your city on a river, you get a flood, which happened to me in my Babylonian game. And you have to, lose pops, lose food, lose coin, pick which one. What do you prioritize?
Yes, sir.
Fun events and things like that popped up. And I'm just kind of excited to see what else they have because I
Come over
don't
here.
think... Yeah, no. We've never had anything like that in a Civ game. And maybe this is something that they've done in Endless Legends, but again, I haven't played it. I do own it, but I haven't played it. And for Endless Space, I've only played about an hour. I don't know why. They're on my list to play. Just didn't happen. Again, when it comes to strategy games, I do prefer more of a historical setting, which has made me super, super excited for Humankind ever since I first heard about it. But we shall have to see if it's worth all this excitement, because I'm beginning to think it might be. So yes, I do think Humankind has a very good chance of dethroning Civilization. We'll just have to keep our eye on it and see what happens. It's definitely a game to watch. Also, if you're interested in playing it before it's released, be sure to check out OpenDev. There's a link down in the description box below, which is essentially a kind of beta. There's instructions if you follow the link. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on Humankind, then come check out NoCB Podcast live every Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, or find the episodes on your favorite podcast site. Link is also in the description box down below. All 4 of us have now gotten our hands on early access, and in fact, Father Loris did the artwork for the What If contest video. And remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell if you like more strategic goodness with games from me. Bye, y'all!